Hey, DNA Strand crew, TJ here with the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast. Today we're going to be bringing you our wide receiver rookie film review for 2023, Session 1. I think we're going to do it in 3 parts. Going to be interesting to see what everyone thinks of these guys. And also listen into this episode and see how you may have a chance to win a signed Bijan Robinson mini helmet. Listen in. We'll go over more of the details here soon. Join us, won't you?
Welcome to the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast, where we talk Dynasty Fantasy Football, fantasy rankings, and everything NFL. Join us and dominate your Dynasty league. It's in your DNA. And here's your host, TJ Blake.
Welcome back, DNA Strand crew. Yes, I'm the host of the Dynasty DNA Fantasy Football Podcast, TJ Blake. You can find me on Twitter at TJ Blake DNA. And as always, we're joined by our show architect and co-host, the A-Train Andy Blake. You can find him on Twitter at A-Train DNA. What's going on, Ann?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. And next in line, we have the co-host and producer, Ty Blake. You can find him on Twitter at Dynasty DNA. Ty, what's going on, Ty?
What's up, guys?
Oh, not much. And last but not least, we got the Minister of Propaganda over here to the left. It's Muscles Ryan Mail. You can find him on Twitter at Dynasty DNA Mus. What's going on, Mus?
Not a whole lot. What's happening?
Not much. I just said that because I know you're the guy that was like the big ringleader on the Bijan helmet. So,
Oh, yeah.
So you got that going. So we're going to mention that now before we get into anything here. We're going to be giving away this signed Bijan Robinson mini helmet. There's a couple ways that we're going to do it. So if you retweet and follow us on Twitter at our Dynasty DNA page, retweet and follow, we're going to put a picture of the helmet on there. You retweet that tweet and you follow us on Twitter, you're going to be entered once to win the Bijan Robinson mini helmet. And you might say, TJ, that's great, but hey, there's more.
Oh,
so
wait, there's more.
If you go and you also subscribe to us on YouTube, and you could put it in the comments that you subscribed, or you could screenshot it over on Twitter and show that you subscribed. If you do that, then you're going to be entered twice. If you do it on Twitter and YouTube, you'll be entered twice. So you have 2 chances to win. We're going to give the helmet away the first round of the NFL draft. That'll be April 27th. I think we're going to try to do a live show that day. But we're going to give away the helmet that day, so it'll be a lot of fun, and it's going to be real interesting. So you guys really need to get in on this. Andy told me.
I want to keep it.
Yeah, he wanted to keep it, but yeah, he went to great lengths. He told me, he goes, I'm a subscriber. I follow. Well, I said, well, you're not in.
Oh.
So you guys really need to get in on this. But today we're going to be doing a wide receiver rookie review. We're going to film session. We're going to overgo these guys. This is our first film session on these guys. It's going to be a 3-parter. This is part 1.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see what everyone thinks of these guys. But before we get into any of that, we're going to go over to the breaking news with Mus.
All right. The Eagles offensive coordinator, ex-offensive coordinator, Shane Stitchen, I think his name is, named Indy's head coach.
Yeah, and Indy need to do that. They needed to go offense.
Yeah.
It's better than Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Jeff Saturday as a person, but, man, he's not an NFL coach.
And Andy Reid said he's not retiring.
Oh, so good.
That's good for Kansas City if you're a Kansas City fan. That guy's good.
I mean, if you have Patrick Mahomes, I think it's hard to retire.
Yeah, but I feel like he helped mold him, He really helped mold him, the whole Alex Smith thing, so.
It's his offense, too. You know, that's the thing. Like, I mean, he's the architect of it all.
And that's one other thing I want to say just real quick for the next thing. And I said it last show. How weird is it for Eric Bieniemy to possibly win a Super Bowl, and they did, and to possibly take another offensive coordinator job.
Yeah.
Looking at Washington, like...
Yeah, that is weird.
Strange.
It's almost like he feels that he's in the shadow of Andy Reid.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
Yeah, he's not going for a head coach. He's just going for another offensive
And I don't know the offense. I mean, is he the one calling the play? Is it Andy Reid? Is he that bad? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird. Titans ex-offensive coordinator Todd Downing named the Jets passing game coordinator.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Baltimore said that they are open to a Lamar trade. They're listening to offers.
Yeah,
So,
we called this 9 months ago.
If he's back with Baltimore, I'd be beyond shocked. I think it's over. It's just a matter of where he goes, where he ends up, and what happens.
Yep.
And I heard on another podcast that Miami was really trying to call about him, but I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, it's weird that Miami, like, everybody's just pointing to Miami for everything. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Tua hasn't been great, but, like,
the injuries, though. I think the injuries.
I think that's the main thing.
That would
injuries.
I see the Ravens franchising him now, like soon.
Yeah.
So he don't hit the open market, and then it's going to get interesting. Like they're going to have to listen to offers. So I don't think he'll play under the franchise.
No.
I was hearing Atlanta too. Atlanta was another real hot spot that could give up quite a bit for him.
One dark horse I was listening to on a podcast. I can't even remember which one it is, but Lions, because they got they got that real high pick, and then they got another first rounder, so they can get Goff.
Their defense is so bad. That'd be a bad move.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I agree.
Goff was good enough.
But for fantasy purposes,
that would suck if you had Detroit's receivers for fantasy. But
yeah.
But next thing, 49ers passing game coordinator Bobby Slowick, new Texans offensive coordinator.
It's interesting.
That's a D'Amico hire. I mean, he was with San Fran, so he's bringing him with him.
Yep. So they were saying, what about like
Trey
Lance? Yep.
Top of the second round, maybe they give their high second round pick.
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
Dominoes.
Yeah.
Derek Carr gave it to Vegas without the lube and demanded to be released.
Yeah, he raw dogged Vegas. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Didn't even spit on it.
Yeah. I smiled when I saw that.
Oh yeah. You could tell he has a dark side to his soul, like like the eyeshadow stuff. Yeah, there's something going on there.
Yeah, mascara.
Yep, and when they sent him to New Orleans to do that visit, it was like there's no way he signs there.
Yeah, they effed him. I mean, they did.
Yeah,
they effed him, and he just effed them back.
So they have to pay him now the $40 million or whatever.
Cut him. They're gonna
they did cut him. Yeah, that's the news. He's officially cut, but because he waived his no trade clause. Yeah, so they couldn't trade him, so they had to cut him.
That's something our quarterback show that we talked about. I honestly figured this was gonna happen.
Yep. Jonathan Gannon, new Cardinals head coach. So
he was pumped about Kyler Murray. I seen a TikTok with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was clapping and gave him a hug. So hopefully, this is new life for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, because a lot of head coaches, I guess, didn't want to go there because of Kyler.
Yeah, and that big contract. So.
Yeah. Kittle says it's Purdy's quarterback job to lose. So when you got.
No wonder Kittle would say that. His numbers went up huge when Purdy got
really.
He's a better Jimmy Garoppolo, like we talked about. So.
Yep. Vic Fangio, new defensive coordinator for the Dolphins.
That's interesting.
I actually kind of like that hire. I thought he was an all right defensive coordinator.
They say he was the highest paid defensive coordinator now? I think that I'm pretty sure.
Might be.
I think they spent a lot of money to get him.
I actually didn't know this, but he actually got hired for 2 weeks for the Eagles to help prepare for the Super Bowl.
He didn't do a very good job either.
No, we'll go over that. But Calvin Ridley files for reinstatement. So
be nice to see him back with Jacksonville.
Put him back in.
Yeah,
he just gambled on a couple things,
Right.
Don't Pete Rose him.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the game.
No.
So other than that, we got to talk about the Super Bowl. Chiefs won 38-35.
Feel bad for you, T-Pain.
That's the first thing. Honestly, like I said to Ty after the game, I said I feel bad for T-Pain. That sucks when your favorite team loses,
and especially putting up the amount of points they did.
Yeah, and the Eagles' defense just disappeared.
No,
they didn't even have a sack.
They were awful.
It was a strange game, man. Whenever they kept doing the third down or the 4th and 1 and stuff like that, everybody knew Jalen Hurts was running the ball.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop it.
That O-line is dominant on
I heard a rumor that the NFL is going to maybe get away with quarterback sneak. They're going to outlaw it or something.
Why?
Because there's no way to stop it.
Or maybe the way that they're doing it, because they go real low.
They go real low. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is a super strong dude.
Yeah.
For him to even still, get through.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit if they do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the game.
Right. No, I agree. I heard that, and I don't know.
Well, they want him to punt it more? Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, because you take that away on 4th and 1, a lot of people will be like, yeah, we're punting it.
And guys like Ben, they made their career kind of out of that. Like, he's a big dude.
Exactly. Right. I mean, that's the advantage of drafting a big quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, hats off to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You can't say enough about that guy.
I know. I mean,
preseason, we were all
wrong. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
he took the step. Well, we even said that. Like, will he take the? We even said it. Philly put the ball in his court.
Yeah,
and he took the step.
He did. He did.
Good for him. He just made himself a lot of money.
And I don't know if anybody saw the interviews with like Jalen Hurts after the game and Kelsey and all them. And I mean, they were like, we don't let that one bad holding call.
Yeah.
I mean, they really.
That call, in my opinion, he held him. He did.
He did. Yeah.
But it was ticky-tacky, and that's what kind of sucked because you don't want to see a game that exciting go down that way.
And it's like game flow to me. Like if they were calling a couple of those throughout the game and they called that one, okay, that's how they've been calling it. But like to me, it was like they were letting them play right up until the end.
Right.
I'm not one of them guys that say, well, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk, but I just look at it like I let them play.
Yeah.
It's for the Super Bowl. And I'm like Muss. Muss has said this, and I agree with him. Automatic first downs.
I hate that.
Yep. I don't like that either.
It screws you, man.
Yeah.
Screws you.
I mean, I get it if it's 3rd and 25 and the defense just tackles the receiver just because it's like, oh, you mean what's a 15-yard penalty?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
but they can implement a rule at 10 or above.
Exactly.
Yeah, like if they hold him before the first down marker, it shouldn't be an automatic.
Or it's a spot foul. Wherever he was held at is where it happens.
Yeah. No, I agree. That I hate the automatic. I feel
so
like
instead of worrying about a quarterback keep, they need to fix this rule.
Yeah, because I feel like it gives too much.
Yeah, totally agree.
Gray area and completely sways the game.
And it makes fans and we all know it's probably not rigged. I mean, but there's always in the back of your mind, you think that, and you got a lot of people
money.
Thinking, yeah. And when you get them automatic first downs, it makes it even harder for the fans. You know. I don't know. I think they need to do something about that too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So, I mean, where do the Eagles go from here?
Well,
honestly,
Jason Kelsey's getting older, so that could be a retirement. Lane Johnson's owed quite a bit of money, I believe.
I feel like if they had a better run game.
Well, they got, 2 first-round picks this year? Or
they got New Orleans.
They got the high one, too, yeah.
I feel like this loss makes them go out and get Bijan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. They never really established a running game.
Yeah.
No.
They could definitely use a guy like him.
I feel like at one point they had the lead, and if they could have established a run game.
I don't know where their 2 picks are. I don't know.
One's number 10.
I think 10's too high.
I do too, but they could trade back. I don't know.
Where's their other pick, I wonder?
That I don't know.
Ty's looking it up.
Ty's on it.
Because I agree. I think, and I said this last year at Breece Hall, I think the Bills screwed up. A lot of people don't want to take a first-round back. Breece Hall was somebody that I touted for. I said, he's great. He's great. He breaks tackles. He does everything so well.
Yeah. And it's like we talked, in the playoffs, sometimes you need that grit. You need to just line up and hit somebody in the face.
Because they couldn't run the ball against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And that's the Buffalo's problem, And, and it'll be interesting to see with Philly. I know they got some free agents, too, on the defensive side of the ball. They lost both coordinators.
Yeah. They got 10 and 31.
10 and 31.
Yeah.
31, I don't think he'll be there.
No, I don't either. But I mean, they could even get Gibbs. But I mean, I
don't think Gibbs. I would rather have that dude. There's a guy.
But I mean, could you imagine Bijan being on that team Sunday?
Unless they trade from 10 back to 18.
Back and pick up another second.
Yeah.
Right.
That could be a possibility. But it's going to be tough for Philly. Yeah. They have key free agents on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah.
And they lost both coordinators.
Yeah.
And that's a hard loss. That's a hard loss for any team.
Yeah. And then, the Chiefs, I think, are going to be the Chiefs. They're going to be there probably next year.
They always, it's just like this. Whenever Tyreek Hill left, a lot of people thought, well, the Chiefs are going to go on the decline a little bit. But as long as you got the quality of a passer like Patrick Mahomes is, and you got a great head coach like Andy Reid,
Travis Kelce. He just doesn't stop.
No. You're always going to have a chance.
Yeah.
And this is another thing. They go out and get Kadarius Toney, who has some off the field problems, some injury problems, but why wasn't the Bears or, one of these other teams go out? Instead, they give up pretty much a first-round pick for Chase Claypool.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Green Bay. Why wouldn't Green Bay go after him? Like, there's so many teams.
And that special teams play he made,
that really kind of was a game changer right there. And then he ends up catching a touchdown anyways.
Yeah. That was a smart move.
Yeah, it was.
Because, I mean, if you could put his off-the-field concerns behind him. And, I mean, on the field, he's great.
All the talent in the world.
Yep, he does.
That's what a good locker room will do, though. You bring, I mean, that's like Bill Belichick. He did it for years. You bring in these misfits, and they've had
Garrett
problems.
Blunt.
Yep, he could just control the situation.
Yeah. And as far as a dynasty thing, I'm not huge on Kadarius Toney. I mean, I wouldn't give up a ton for him, but as an NFL player, when you can return punts and everything.
That was a heck of a move. For an NFL purposes, that was a heck of a move the Chiefs made.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to give up much to get him, and they got a quality player that can run fast.
And then on the flip side, I think outsmarted Dable to get rid of him just for the simple fact that, hey, this is my team now.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in my guys. And then kind of did with the Wan'Dale Robinson move, pretty much the same player.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see. And we all know the free agency frenzy's coming up.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. We got a show whenever that happens. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got.
All right, Mus, we appreciate you going over it here. We're going to hop into the receivers today. This is part one. Like I said, this is going to be a three-parter because there's so many receivers, and we didn't want to leave some of these guys out.
Yeah.
We felt like it was important to go over them. You never know. You can find a diamond in a rough.
Yeah, we just get some names out there. So in draft day, you see some names like, oh, well, I've heard of him. And
Yep.
get a little bit of a background on him.
And before we go over to Ant, I got to say this, Ty, be careful. Because last week, when you were talking about Roschon Johnson, his brother got in the comments, Dorian Johnson. We're pretty sure it's him, and he called you out.
Yeah, well, I like to generate the fire. I do it muscle all the time, and I mean, I guess he'll have to prove me wrong. My my information is going to stay. So we'll have to see.
You're going to be more hated than Skip Bayless.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, hit Skip or Ty.
But be careful, and honestly, we do wish Roschon the best.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's what we said. I just wish that he wouldn't have broke his hand in that Senior Bowl.
Hopefully, he's back for the combine.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
He needed that exposure. He really did. But we're going to hop into the receivers right now. And we're going to go over to the A-Train first. And I know he cannot wait to go over this guy. It's going to be A.T. Perry, wide receiver, Wake Forest Demon Deacons, 6'5", 205 pounds. Tell us, Ann.
So he's 6'5", 205. He's a junior out of Wake Forest. And I did the little laugh. Like, he's not horrible, but he's just a guy that, I think I'm willing to take running backs later. Like, how I tout Eric Gray all the time. Could they be drafted around the same spot and rather go Gray or, one of these running backs. But we'll still go over him here. I feel like he doesn't look super fast, but he usually does get behind defenders on go routes. That's kind of like his thing for a big guy. He gets downfield, throw the ball up to him. So I'm going to be kind of curious to see what his 40 time is. Doesn't really look good with a ball in his hands running. I don't know if it's because he's kind of a lankier guy.
Yeah.
I didn't really see much after, yak yards or anything. Does have really reliable hands, though. I didn't see any drops. I believe he played in the Shrine Bowl, too. Almost had a real nice one-handed catch. Didn't come down with it, but let's see. Run a really small route tree. I feel like when you're at a place like Wake Forest, that's just kind of, what you're given. Let's see.
It looked like a real college offense. You notice that?
Yes, big time. And with a guy like him, you're putting your chips on not really the right person, I feel like, Like he just didn't really offer anything besides a go route. Not a lot of separation. For somebody that's as big as him, I would have liked to see more red zone usage. Didn't really use him a lot down there. So is it kind of the fact that quarterback they have is not that good? Hartman. Yeah, he was on quarterback one on Netflix. Maybe his brother will come on and tell me off. I don't know. Maybe I'll be in the same boat as Ty. I feel like I'd be more scared of Roschon's brother than I would Sam Hartman's brother.
Right.
But anyways, just an average guy, man. Probably go in the fourth round. I hope he does get an opportunity, though, just from his standpoint. So, another thing I didn't really like was his separation. I felt like that was kind of, he just couldn't really get away from anybody. So what was the routes that you guys seen? I seen like a slant, a go, a little curl, and at the top of his curls, he uses his hands a lot.
I was just going to say, he's really handsy, man.
You can't do that in the NFL. You're not going to get away with it.
Yeah. He tries using his size almost to too much of his advantage. Like he's trying to bully people around, grab them.
Yeah.
I mean, like you ain't going to fly with that in the NFL.
Right. So he has stuff that, if he does clean it up, maybe he's a better NFL player than he is a Dynasty. Or
That's a good point.
Fantasy player. So
that's a really good point. Actually, I think his ceiling, and I wrote this down, and this is his ceiling, I think, is like Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
I saw him compared to Tim Patrick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Like someone in a serviceable NFL player.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is with him, like, it's weird. Like, I feel like he's fast because he gets behind people. But, like, is it because he's 6'5" and has a big stride?
Yeah.
Is he quick or is he fast?
His speed could be, like, deceiving speed.
Once he gets going, like, okay, I can get behind these guys, but it takes him a little bit to get going.
Yeah, he was a basketball player. I think that's why he...
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why he kind of...
Maybe he ought to get back to basketball.
But no, I had that wrote down that he was. I didn't see any yards after catch from him.
Nothing.
Limited athleticism
for a big man. He went down pretty easy.
Yeah, he did.
Right,
he really did.
One thing I will say, and I've already said it, I think he has really good hands.
Yeah,
I didn't see any drop balls.
Right,
yeah, I agree.
He's dropped 17 in 2 years.
What the hell am I watching?
Yeah, they're
17.
That's what they're saying. Yes.
Well, if Hartman threw me the ball, I'd drop it too.
I mean, they might even count some of them being like, one hander behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you get a hand on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And he did kind of have limited film. I think I watched 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I'm like you. It seemed like a real college-style offense. I seen and this drove me nuts. I don't know. I just pick up on these things when I watch the films. They would run like almost RPO every single play.
Yeah.
Like they'd have a running back in the sidecar, and Hartman would act like he's handing it off.
And then take a step.
Yeah. And
it was weird. Like, instead of just doing this and then dropping back, he would like kind of mosey forward. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
It's getting bad when we're at the point where we're acting this out.
Yeah.
But we're on camera now, so everyone can see it.
Right.
But I'm telling you,
Here, must snap me the ball.
But I'm telling you, I'm glad you've seen that too, because it just, to me, it seemed too gimmicky, like just so basic. And I like muscle, like Tim Patrick.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of player I think you hope that he can become. You can have him on your bench. Maybe he does a little bit of something, but I've seen so many AT Perrys.
Yeah. He's somebody I feel like it might get a little bit of hype before the draft, too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That last resurgence.
Right.
Like,
And with the size. I mean, he's got the size.
Yeah.
It's just so tough for these receivers nowadays. There's just so many good ones in the league. You really have to stand out or you might not last long.
No.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Ty, because I know you're a big proponent of that, and it is true. I mean, and there's just so many guys they're bringing, and I bet you I'd like to see the over-under how many receivers are drafted this year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because it's picking up that way. It really is.
It's turning into a passing game, that's for sure.
Where did he rank for you?
He was, out of the 5 guys, or we did 6 guys,
8.
he was number... Or 8 guys.
Yeah, 8 guys.
The 8 guys, I think he was number 6.
I have him at 5.
I had him at 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, I have him at 5, but I mean he's not nothing. There's so many more to grade. He's going to keep going down the list.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure of that. But we're going to go over to me now, and it's going to be another one of our personal favorites. It's going to be Cedric Tillman, Tennessee Volunteers, 6'3", 215 pounds. And when I say personal favorites, not really. I watched Cedric Tillman, and he's another guy, big man, no yards after the catch. He just went down easy. I didn't see really no explode. I mean, sometimes he got off the line pretty fast for a big guy, but against press, he could be held up sometimes. It seems like he didn't really use his size too much to his advantage. And when he did, again, a little handsy. I noticed that too. I mean, basic route tree. I think I wrote it down. 4 routes: bubble screen, curl, hitch, and a go route.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've seen. And, I mean, when you got Jalin Hyatt opposite of you.
I was just going to say that.
I mean.
Probably the fastest dude.
Yeah, that's like going into the garage and like, should I take my Corvette out today or should I take my 1982 Toyota Corolla? And it's like, well, I think I'm going to take the fast
Toyotas.
Yeah, so honestly, I mean, Cedric Tillman, I mean, I hate to knock any player, but I don't know. I hate when I see big guys that don't perform.
Right.
You know, because he's got so much size. And I mean, size is something not everyone's gifted with. You know, you're either born with it or you're not.
Oh, we all know that.
So you're saying he's a grower and all the shower.
Yeah. But I just didn't see a lot of explosiveness with this guy. He just seems like a basic receiver to me. He's someone that if I were to personally take him, the earliest I'd take him is the 4th round. I mean, I'd take him just because of the big body maybe there in hopes that he goes to some team that can clean him up a little bit. I put his ceiling as like Corey Davis.
Yeah.
I think that's the best hope he has is to become that type of player. And, I mean, like I said, when I was watching the film, there was just – and that was another thing. I watched him in some of 2021.
Yeah.
And I noticed more Velus Jones than him.
I did, too.
And it's like, man, that's not a good sign.
Oh, no. No, and in 2021, he had 64 catches for 1,000 yards. So if you were box scoring, you'd be like, not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
A.T. Perry had big numbers, too. I should have went over them. But, like, he just don't look good. I seen him pushing off like A.T. Perry at the top of the route.
Yep.
I actually seen him drop a long ball for a touchdown and a slant, both against Pitt. So not as good as hands as A.T. Perry, in my opinion.
Yeah. In the 4 biggest stat categories: receptions, yards, touchdowns, and average per catch. He wasn't even 150th in the nation in any of them categories.
No.
So
Yep. You've seen it, and like I said, that was the heck of it, man. When you seen people like Velus Jones showing out more,
right?
Like he caught my eye.
Yeah,
when I watched the tape, when he flashed more than he did, I'm like, this isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's just someone that I'm not really interested in. I think out of the 8 players that we ranked, I think he finished 7th for me. He's almost dead last. And one of the guys will be going over here soon is dead last.
He was 4th for me.
You really like him?
I actually had him above A.T. Perry.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't. Actually, I had A.T. Perry 5, and then he was 6.
Okay.
Because he scored a 54 and Perry scored a 60.
Well, what did you see, Mus? Did you see something you liked more than me?
I actually liked when he got the ball in his hands. I thought he was a really strong runner when he had the ball in his hands, and I thought he played really physical and played the ball well. But, I mean, he didn't have any speed or separation, a very limited role. But I don't know.
Everyone sees things different. And I'm glad you did it because I'll probably go back and watch. Because like Andy said, when someone says something like they might like someone a little bit more than I do, I go back and look at it.
Yeah,
because I trust you guys. So, so I always go back and look. But like I said, right now I'm not too interested. But you never know. I mean, I might change my mind. But
I'm not really interested.
Yeah,
I've kind of made mine because I kind of looked at him a couple times, and I didn't really see the yak. And then being 215, and he's a senior.
Yeah.
So I just think I'd rather, get my greedy little paws in the running back pool.
Yeah. This is a running back heavy class.
It is.
And there are a couple receivers, and there's going to be one in this show, and it's coming up soon that we're going to mention. It's probably going to be a 2nd-round pick that I really, really like. Mm-hmm. But we're going to go over to Ty now. And Ty loved this guy. It's one of his favorites. Yeah. It's going to be Dontay Demus Jr., Maryland Terrapins, 6'4", 215 pounds. Tell us about him, Ty.
Yeah, some positive I've seen about this guy. His route running wasn't too bad. He's got pretty good hands, phenomenal body control. He's a great special teams guy for the fantasy leagues that do special teams. His size and speed combination is pretty good, and some of the negatives I've seen on him, he's shown lots of promise in his first couple seasons at Maryland, and he had the really bad knee injury against Iowa, and I think that's just why he's dropped. I mean, it's kind of incredible how far he's dropped. His junior season, he had 5 games played, 24 catches, 365 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And actually, his sophomore year, the year before that, 41 catches, 625 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then now, I mean, 12 games played, 22 catches, 233 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah. So there's obviously something wrong there. I mean, there's got to be something wrong. Your numbers just don't drop like that, especially in college. They're supposed to go up practically every year. So,
and that's why I put him on this list, because he was somebody I was really excited about, because I liked what I was seeing. I'm like, man, can he take the next step?
Yeah,
right.
And he took a step or maybe 2 back.
Yeah. I think the knee injury. I hope he can come back from it. But from what I've seen, I'm not seeing it, and I'm just not going to take the chance.
No.
If you do take the chance, maybe a late 4th round pick possibly, or even in the 5th. You know, I might even be ballsy enough in the 5th to take a flyer on him, but
depending on his draft capital,
for sure. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan. I mean, before the injury, I thought he had, you know, a lot of potential, but after, I'm just not liking it.
And that's why I was joking around, because, like, I remember, like, when we were going over these, and I gave Ty the couple that he was going to start with. He's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, look at his stats last year. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, and he went back and he's like, yeah, that injury. I mean, you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate, because the guy did look like a totally different player.
Yeah.
You know, and you know me, I like Maryland.
I do too.
I like Terrapins. They always seem to get these athletic guys. So I'm like, Ty, maybe this year was just a recovery year for him.
Maybe.
I mean, we see it with Sutton.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit for them. You see, I don't know if it's mental, a little bit mental too.
And
maybe they're afraid to get in there and get dirty.
It could be a variety too. Like, it could be mental, it could be like physical, and then it could be just a fact that maybe the team got worse. You know, that's another thing to throw in there too. So there could be a whole bundle of issues.
It's just kind of scary that, you know, 2 seasons of football in college, you only played 10 games.
Yeah.
So that's a little frightening.
But I mean, he had a lot of contested catches. I mean, I did like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
It's you know, I mean, he had a lot of contested, so that's good to see.
I watched his 2022 highlights, and I was like, there's nothing really much to see here. But if you go back from 2019 to 2021, he looked fantastic. But,
and that's what you said. And I remember you saying, like, after we talked about it, you said, like, after them couple years, you said, I would be interested in this guy if he gets picked in the draft, maybe like a 5th round.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because maybe you bank on the fact that he is back from that injury.
Yeah. If he's there in the 5th, I'd probably take a flyer on him.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's going to get the capital because of his special teams.
Right.
So
for sure.
And that's always something to remember. That's really important with the, I mean, hey, it might not help in Dynasty for most scenarios. Like, if you play with special teams, maybe it does. But if it don't help, but it helps an NFL team.
Yeah.
It helps a guy make a roster. And if he makes a roster, he has an opportunity. So you never know.
Where did you guys have him ranked?
I have him 7th.
That's where I have him.
I have him 6th.
Okay.
Yeah. So
he's literally 1 point ahead of Cedric Tillman.
Okay.
But he has a worse film grade.
No, I have him 6. I have him 6. I have him 6 too. I think I had Tillman 7th. So.
Yeah, I have Tillman 7th.
Yeah.
As well.
So,
okay.
So he's right. He's down towards the bottom.
Perry's ahead of him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm like Ty. I hope he comes back from the injury, because I liked what I seen early. So we'll see what happens. But I'm glad you mentioned that, Ty, and brought it up.
Yep.
We're going to go over here to Muss. It's going to be Frank Ladson Jr., Miami Hurricanes, 6'3", 205.
Get your popcorn.
Yeah, 6'3", 205 pounds. Played for Clemson for his first 3 years. Transferred to Miami Hurricanes. I guess that's where he's from, or right around the area.
Yeah.
Played 12 games, 27 catches, 298 yards, and a touch.
You're trying to talk yourself into it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he
don't waste your time.
No,
his brother's coming for you now.
He shows good ball tracking skills, and goes up and gets it. I saw decent acceleration, good catch and run, special teams option. So I mean, that might get him some draft capital too. And I saw that he was a good run blocker, which might help him get on the field a little bit. But no body catching, no good separation. He has a problem with drops.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of hand fighting and press coverage. He was ranked 8th out of all guys.
Yeah, I didn't even give him a ranking,
Yeah.
honestly. I'm hoping he gets drafted in the NFL.
He's bringing up the rear.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately.
Did you see, like, he's a guy that you see these beautiful acrobatic catches, and you're just like, damn. Then the next play, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of shows the flash and then just doesn't produce.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to talk down to a guy because I have zero athleticism. But, I mean, he ranks 8th out of all 8 guys. So.
Well, he didn't even touch 750 career yards in college.
Yeah. So. And I feel like he screwed up leaving Clemson.
Oh, yeah.
But they had, after Trevor Lawrence, had DJ Ugolandi, another quarterback, one guy on Netflix that just sucks. He's not that good.
Andy's not a fan of quarterback one.
Oh. Justin Fields is on there, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Ty's favorite quarterback.
But he had Anthony Richardson throwing the football too, didn't he? So
No, Miami.
Miami.
He had Van Dyke.
Van Dyke, yes.
I don't really know much about Van Dyke.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't know, man. It's just like I'll tell you, and we've reviewed only 8 of these guys, so maybe I'm being a little too harsh, but I'm a big receiver guy. I love the big receivers. Mm-hmm. Every one that I've seen, I've not been overly impressed with.
No, they're not used. These big guys aren't being used in the red zone either.
No.
So, like, are they weak too? Like,
yeah.
It just makes you wonder. I mean, it baffles me because I see so much ability there.
But probably out of all of them, Ladson's the one I've seen most targeted in the red zone just because, like, Musa with his hand fighting. But he's still, like, it's just not consistent enough for me.
No, me either, man. And I just, like I said, it just drives me crazy. I'm a big receiver fan. I hope that changes as we go over the next couple sessions.
Yep.
Hopefully there's a couple guys will stick out. But I'm with you, man. He's ranked last on mine, and really, I'm just not interested. The earliest I would take him if I took him would be the 5th round. And that's if I took him.
He's probably going to be undrafted.
He'll probably be undrafted.
Yep.
Good chance of it. But we're going to go over to And here. Man, this one is someone I love, and I know Andy really likes him too. We talked about this, and I can't wait to go over him. It's going to be Jayden Reed, wide receiver, Michigan State Spartans, 6 foot, 185 pounds. Tell us about Jayden, man.
I call him the smooth operator. I mean, this guy's just silky smooth. Did a great job in finding soft spots in the defense. He's real shifty and elusive. Did really good on contested catches. Offers team in the punt return as well. Really good yak guy. I seen him multiple times, a ball in his hand, just making moves and getting downfield. So I'm going to say something that it might sound crazy. It might get blown out of proportion. I think he has the Antonio Brown-like characteristics.
I said that too. I agree.
I do, man. I do. Just some that whatever it takes to win, he'll do it. He's good at blocking, very strong off the line, great hand battling. There was nothing that I seen him not do good. So the only thing that's a little bit concerning is Michigan State. You know, he's not putting up the biggest numbers, but he killed it at the Senior Bowl. Yep. Maybe not in the game, but in practices. And there was really good corners at the Senior Bowl. And he did really well. So he's somebody in my film grade. Hell, I gave him an A. I mean, that's even above Addison in film grade, not over rating. But
okay,
he is 2 points behind Addison for me. One thing that I had noticed, too, I think he's going to get better capital than people are thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Like TJ said, a second-round pick. Like, I can really see that.
Yep.
So, and I think, honestly, when it comes to our dynasty drafts, he's going to be an early second-round pick. And if he gets the draft capital, could he be a late first-round pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, too, as more people watch him and they get out the goods on him, I think he will go up the boards, just kind of like Tajay Spears did in the running back group. I think Jayden Reed's a guy in the receiver group that it's going to go up. I mean, I'm like you, everything I seen a guy that scored almost above average in everything I had.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the thing that I have the lowest on him is draft capital and his separation. Separation, I gave him a 7. The only reason I did that is because you've seen the contested catches.
Did you guys see a lot of drops? I saw drops.
I didn't see too many drops.
And then I docked him on him. I mean, he can't help it, but I mean, he's 23 years old coming out.
Yeah, but honestly, though, man, that might make him better.
Could make him more. Yeah,
right, because he's a senior.
Yeah, I mean, and he's a receiver. Receivers have a little bit longer shell life, and then
he's
no top end speed.
But it's good to mention because guys like Terry McLaurin were older when they came out.
He's got real. I mean, to me, his hands are strong. I seen him. He's 6 foot. He went up over defenders and just snatched it.
I'm a 5'10". Physical, I wrote that he's a physical 5'10" guy.
Yeah. I mean, he for his size, I mean, he's listed as 6 foot, but as his size, I mean, he plays bigger.
Yeah, he does.
They said the last season he dropped 8.5% of his passes.
8.5.
So that's something to look into.
It is a little bit, but I'll tell you, man, I didn't see it. I watched a lot of film and I didn't see it.
In 3 missed tackles last year, forced. So that's something a little bit too, but. I think he's a dynamic player. I mean, that's just not his game, breaking tackles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you watch him in the open field, man, he is elusive.
I've run after catch.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
To me, he's
making people miss.
He scored the best in run after the catch for me.
Yep.
I mean, the guy is just he just knows how to make people miss. And he, like Andy said, when he said smooth operator, that's what he is. And honestly, I think he's going in the second round. I would be surprised. I mean, if he don't, it'll be early third. I mean, he just offers so much. I mean, you go back to them Senior Bowl practices, he was torching some of the defenders.
Yeah, and in 2021, I think it was the Penn State game, he went up, it was in the snow, and just made a fantastic catch on the sidelines for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was something that stood out to me as well. So,
Yep.
I don't know. I know some of the stats might not be there, but, man, I see the dog in him. Like, he's just doing whatever it takes to win. The dude does it, and I love it.
And he's sneaky fast.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to me, like, there's a couple guys on here that are clearly going to run the 40 faster than he is, but, man, with pads on, he's quick. If you watch the one punt return, I can't remember if it was against, like, Louisville or someone like that. It was, like, West Kentucky or someone like that. But anyhow, he got the punt return, man, and he was coming up the sidelines. There was, like, 2 or 3 guys ahead of him, and he run right by all of them. So, I mean, the guy is quick. I mean, I'm
hoping he runs a 4.4. I think I'd be really comfortable with a 4.4.
Yeah, and he's a guy to really keep an eye on because everything I've seen, if he comes out and does really well in the combine, he's even going to make a bigger case for himself. Yeah. So he's someone to watch out for. He's someone I really like. He's second on my list right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too.
I have him fifth. I'm going to have to go back and watch.
Yeah, I really, really liked him.
Okay.
I really like him a lot too. I mean, the thing is that we're going to be mentioning a couple of these guys here, and when we talk about them, I'll talk about the differences, but there's just reasons why I have them ahead of them.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll go over those, but we're going to go over to mine here, and this is the guy that, out of this group, scored number 1 for me. It's a guy that I've loved from the start. He's one of my favorite receivers in the class. It's going to be Jordan Addison, wide receiver, USC Trojans, 6 foot, 175 pounds. Man, I really like Jordan Addison a lot. I mean, the guy is probably the best route runner in this class. I mean, haven't got to watch all of it yet. He's definitely one of them. And good speed, solid speed. He's not going to blow you away. He's not like a combine workout warrior type speed, but he's good football speed. He gets away from people. Not too bad and run after the catch. I mean, like to see a little bit more out of him on that, but the way he runs his routes, and another thing I really like about him is they can line him up anywhere in the formation.
Yeah.
He's one of them guys. He's so dynamic. You can put him in the slot. You can put him outside. You can put him in the backfield. You can just do anything you need him to do, and I think that's really valuable for any NFL team. Didn't see a lot of contested catches with him, but that's not his game, man. That's not how he wins. He's that guy that moves around. They try to get dynamic ways to get the ball in his hands. But if he goes to the right team, and I'm anxious to see this, I mean, because I think that'll be the final nail in the coffin. But I have him, right now is my number 1 out of all the guys we've done, the 8 guys that we've done. I mean, there's going to be a couple guys that might pass him, and definitely one with JSN whenever we get to him.
Yeah.
But right now, he's number 1 for me out of the 8 guys that we did, and it will be interesting to see what team he goes to. If he goes to a team that I feel comfortable, that'll know how to scheme him up, that'll know how to use him. If he's a really good number 2 for a team, like if he comes in and he's like a really good number 2 guy, sky's the limit. I mean, I think he could put up good fantasy points for a long time. I really like him. I think he'll be in the league a long time. I think he's a solid player. Like I said, not a real big contested catch guy, not real physical, but he gets off the line pretty good. He knows how to shimmy defenders. He knows how to get around press pretty well. I really like him, man. I think he's going to be, when it's all said and done, my number 2 receiver overall, once I do all the reviewing. Yeah. I don't know if anyone will pass him, but I really like him. What did you guys think of him?
Yeah, I really liked him as well, too. The yak, I think, you were saying he needs to work on a little bit, but that might be because he's 175.
Yeah.
I mean, he's super fast, though, but if you get your hands on him, he's not real happy about it. That's something I kind of seen. Yeah. I gave him a 10 out of 10 in draft capital. I think he's the first receiver taken.
Yeah, he might be.
I truly do, and I think he's probably a top, I'm going to be a little bit bold here and say a top 10 pick.
He could be.
I
could see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could too.
I don't think he makes it past 15.
No. That I was going to say 15, but I'm going to be bold and say 10.
Yeah.
He offers really good catching. I mean, that's probably the main thing with the route running that stood out to me.
Really good hands.
I didn't see anything really dropped his way, unless it was a contested catch, which they could punch the ball out or anything. Not necessarily on him. Just needs to come back to the ball a little more.
Yeah, and he's a super good, like, ball control receiver.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't make, like, these insane flashy plays, just, like, you know, quick hitter, slants, outs, anything like that. So I could see him every game getting, 6, 7, 8 catches. That's just his game.
Out of the 8 guys that I watched, he had the most dynamic route tree out of all of them.
Definitely.
He can just stop.
Did you guys see the whip route he ran for a touchdown?
Yeah.
It just reminded me of, not saying he's Justin Jefferson, but it reminded me of him.
Yep.
Yeah.
That little in and just bam, out wide open.
Yeah, he knows how to make you lose your shoes.
Yeah, he can just literally stop on a dime.
But
It's incredible.
I did go back and watch some of his games when he was with Kenny Pickett at Pitt, and I seen a little bit better yak there. So I don't know if USC is playing tougher competition. He had a little bit of a harder time with that. But, like, when he was with Pitt, he was making contested catches and running people over. I'm like, damn.
It'll be interesting, though, too. I know he got injured early. I mean, early.
Yeah, he did. He did. It was like, what, week 2 or something?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he maybe he didn't ever overcome that. That could be something.
And
but
maybe it's a style of the offense.
that could be too.
'Cause
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley, I mean, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. They schemed him up, and I mean, hey, the guy's got talent. USC gave him like $3 million in a mansion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like for the NLI deal that he got. So, I mean, the guy is definitely a dynamic player. I agree with you. I mean, he's definitely going to be, to me, 10 to 15. I think that's where he's going to be. I mean, and if he goes to a good spot, man, like I said, if he can go to a high-powered offense or a team that's kind of like on the rise, like we didn't see Philly coming this year, and they come out of nowhere. Like if he can go and find himself in a good scenario like that, and he can just fit in and do his thing, I think he'll be a really solid player.
Yeah, I do too. My thing, seeing this is what I was kind of like thinking. Devonta Smith and him, they're both smaller.
Yeah.
Who would you guys rather have?
Oh, I'd rather have Devonta Smith.
You would? How about you guys?
Yeah, probably Devonta Smith.
Too.
I mean, it's not like
too.
it's far off.
No, I don't think it's far off, but
Devonta Smith plays big for his size.
yeah, he does. That was one thing I was thinking. He plays a little bit bigger for his size. But if Addison can do that, it could be like a carbon copy.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
I can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like Addison. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. I think he did a lot of stuff well. I mean, he graded above average on a lot of stuff. I mean, a majority of what I went over with him.
Yeah.
Like I said, his hands are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely has really good hands.
Where do you guys think a good landing spot would be? Because you were looking at some of these top teams. I get afraid like New England's going to take him.
Honestly, that's exactly what I was going to say.
I get afraid New England.
I hope it ain't like Carolina or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about Houston?
Yeah, I could see
I
that.
mean, I'm kind of liking what Houston's doing. They're trying to really,
He's not going to last, but I'd like to see the Giants or Buffalo. I'd like to see him outside of Diggs for Buffalo.
Yeah.
You never know, though. I mean, look what the Lions did for Jameson Williams. They come the whole way up from like 30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of these teams might come up. I would really love the Steelers, and I'm not just saying
I'm just
it.
getting ready to say
I
that.
would too.
I'm not just saying it from a Kenny Pickett like Pitt.
I think him and George Pickens would really do well together.
He really would. And, I've heard multiple times that Kenny Pickett's pounding on the table, you got to get Jordan Addison.
Yeah, he's different. He is different.
He's just a different player. He's unique.
Today I'm taking Smith over him, but tomorrow I don't know.
Yeah, that's it, man. And honestly, I mean, USC produces receivers.
Yeah, they
I mean,
do.
we've seen it. And I mean, like, I know he was a transfer there, but there's a reason they wanted him. They know what they're getting.
Yeah.
So he's definitely someone I'm interested in. Be interesting to see.
He knows Kendon Slovis sucks, so
That's it. He didn't want no part.
he
of
wanted
it.
out of town. He got Caleb Williams, probably the best quarterback in the NCAA.
That's for sure. We're going to go over to Ty now. It's going to be another highly touted guy. It's going to be Josh Downs, wide receiver, North Carolina Tar Heels, 5'10", 175 pounds. What do you see with Downs, Ty?
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, I've never really watched him play in college until I watched tape on him the other day, and I love the guy. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. He put up 94 catches last year, 1,029 yards and 11 touchdowns. So fantastic stat line, and I think he might have missed a couple games last year. So he's only 5'10", but he plays bigger for his size. He makes a lot of tough catches. I like the North Carolina quarterback, but sometimes he's a little wild with the football, and he was putting it behind him, and still coming up with the ball. I love his hands. Fantastic. He even proved it against Clemson, number 9 ranked team in the country, 11 catches, 100 yards, so that was a nice day for him. Really good run after the catch ability, and he has underrated speed. Some of the stuff I didn't like about him, he's got really simple routes, but, sometimes that's okay. You see guys like Michael Thomas. He doesn't have the flashiest routes, but he makes it work. Physical coverage does slow him down. So if they see that in the tape, the NFL, he's just going to have to get better at that because NFL, they'll figure you out so quick. He's not a tackle breaker. He's elusive until someone wraps him up. Not a good blocker. And actually, one thing I didn't like about him really at all was he has way too many false start penalties. They said he's really bad about that. They said he could have been called for a lot more last year, but he wasn't.
Wow.
So that's something he's got to clean up. But, man, after watching that guy, if you can get him maybe in the early second, I'd be absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good spot. If you were to draft him, I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, I'm with you. Like, I mean, he isn't real physical. You know, that's one thing I noticed with him, too. One thing I didn't like was I didn't see him go downfield a lot unless it was a go route.
Yeah.
You know, I seen a lot of underneath stuff.
Right.
And I think that, like, you know, in college, they're relying on his speed because it's like, we have this guy, you don't. Well, the NFL, there's a lot of fast people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. I wish you seen like more of like a, you know, professional style receiver route tree.
Right.
You know, I just didn't see it. I don't know. I mean, he's someone that I like, but I'm not just overly in love with. I mean, he's fast, but there's a lot of fast receivers in this class, man. And there's a lot of guys that can move. And I don't know, 5'10", you know, I'm just never been a big, small receiver guy. You know, I mean, there's some guys I make a case for, like Addison I do really like.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's just, like I said, Addison runs a complete pro route tree. This guy really don't. And we've seen misses with some of these high-end North Carolina prospects in the recent year, too. You know, that's another thing. I mean, you go back like De'Ami Brown, he was a bust. I mean, third-round guy, you know, bust. I mean, Sam Howell, the book's still out on him. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Javonte's been hurt, so it's tough to say. Michael Carter, nothing special. I mean, they put up these big numbers in college, but it don't seem like they translate to the pros. That's another thing that worries me.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty fast guy as well.
Oh, I have elite speed. I think he was probably the fastest that we watched.
I have Hyatt faster
So
than
do
him.
I.
Yeah.
I have Hyatt scored a 10. He scored a 9.5.
Okay.
Addison's a 9, so like he's right between them for me.
Yeah.
First thing I think about with Downs, he's a smart player. Like you can tell he's a very intelligent person.
Yep.
And he did a really good job in finding the open space. And that's what I seen. A lot of times you see how he would start off a little slow and then just take off.
Yeah.
Like he beat a lot of people that way. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to have his role, and it's going to be that possession slot guy, which, I mean, can get you catches. I mean, what if he finishes games with 6 catches, 52 yards, you know? But then he gets in the end zone.
It just depends. And this is like for Josh Downs, this is so important. Like, I kind of do like him. Like I said, he's probably going to finish in the top, 7 for me when it's all said and done. But my thing is, where does he go? Because if he goes somewhere, and I'll make this comparison, Elijah Moore to the Jets. That's been a nightmare for Elijah Moore. I mean, no quarterback. He's going to be relying on going to a good team that knows how to scheme him up, that someone that can get him the ball. Because if they expect him to come in and be like a savior, he's just not that guy.
No. And hopefully NFL teams, know this.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely not a number one. He's just a slot guy.
Yeah.
Special teams guy who cries a lot, throwing up his hands. Did you guys see that? There's a lot of times.
He's got a lot of drops, too. I put that.
Yeah.
I saw him drop a lot.
Yeah, his hands weren't the strongest. But I'll say this, like, it's just like this. Like, if he goes to Houston, I'm not that big on it. I mean, that worries me, But if he goes to, like, Minnesota or something, maybe then it'll be interesting,
Goes to L.A.
Yeah.
What about Dallas?
Yeah, like maybe
I'd
Dallas.
like Dallas,
Yeah, I think I'd be okay.
Just somewhere where he's a complimentary piece. He's got to be a complimentary piece because he's not good enough to dominate you as a true alpha or a true X.
I think he's probably, you guys think, mid to late second round pick, like in NFL drafts?
I think he's mid-second to early third, and it's just because of his speed. Because you know how the NFL is with speed. You can't replace speed.
Yeah, speed kills.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's just like these big-arm quarterbacks. If you get the right coaching, if someone can get their hands on them, they can make it work.
Yeah.
It's just will they.
Where's he ranked for you guys?
I have him 4th.
He is 4th for me as well.
I have him 2nd.
I would have him 2nd, too.
Yeah, okay. Yep. That's interesting. Yeah, this next guy that we're going to talk about, I have 3rd.
He's my 3rd next guy.
Yeah, so we're going to go over here to Muss, and we're going to let Muss take this one. It's going to be the last one of the group. Jalin Hyatt, wide receiver, Tennessee Volunteers, 6 foot, 180 pounds. What'd you see with Hyatt, Moss?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 6 foot, 180 pounds for Tennessee Volunteers. He did set the single-season touchdown record for the Volunteers, and the second most ever in yards in a single season. So, like, that's good there. And the first, I'm going to butcher it. I can't ever say it. Biletnikoff? Yeah, I can never say that. He won the first one of those awards in school history, so that's cool. He's very possibly the very fastest receiver in the draft, other than very small route tree I saw though.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of could be a one-trick pony at times.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys noticed this. The Volunteers kind of did a good job of keeping him off the line.
They put him behind a guy.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like it just got him out of man press situations.
They bunch aside, they stack aside. Yeah.
I mean, I think to be successful, he's going to have to grow in other areas and stuff like that. He was third for me.
Yeah, I have him third too. And honestly, it's just because of the speed, man. This guy's a burner. I mean, he has a chance to run, I think, real close to a 4.2.
Yeah.
If he runs good, he could run that. I mean, he's capable of it. And I don't care. The thing that really, and I'm not big on these speed demons sometimes because they can just be one-trick ponies.
Yeah.
But the big thing was the 5-touchdown game against Alabama.
Yep.
I mean, if you can score that many touchdowns against Alabama, that at least catches my attention.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what scares me is he might be that boom or bust guy.
Yeah.
He might have 10 games where he doesn't do anything, and then he has that one
or
game.
he just become a gadget player.
Yeah,
you know
become
what I mean?
a gadget player.
He could be Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah.
Almost a better NFL player than a fantasy player.
Yep, he might be a guy that spreads the field.
But my thing is, I'm relying on draft capital. That's where I have him third, is I think he's probably a first-round pick in the NFL draft.
Yep.
If John Ross was a first-round pick, Jalin Hyatt would be a first-round pick.
And that's the thing. I mean.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, the thing is, too, like, I don't know. This speed's just intriguing. And honestly, he's like one of the only players, like we see this time of year, players come up and down the boards. I mean, like we said about Tajay Spears, maybe Jayden Reed, maybe they come up, you know. But like to me, Hyatt's just that guy to me. He's going to be picked in a lot of dynasty drafts between 8 and 12. That seems to be where he's going to be. I mean, and someone's going to take him because of the speed.
Yep.
And if you are a championship contending type team, maybe it's worth taking the risk for the speed. I mean, you never know. If he can put it all together, it's just like he's so raw. He's got to go somewhere where he can get coached really well.
Yeah.
If someone could teach him how to be a true wide receiver with that speed, it could be lethal.
Tyreek Hill's really paved the way for these guys, man. Everyone's just chomping at the bit, waiting for the next one to come.
That's it, man. Everyone wants the next Tyreek, but you got to be careful.
There's only one Tyreek.
That's
man.
it.
Yep.
Because he's so fast and his routes are unbelievable.
And hey, if you don't feel comfortable, if you're like a contending type team sitting between 8 and 12, and someone comes knocking on your door, maybe someone will like him enough to trade you a nice piece for him.
Yeah, and I mean best ball. He's probably a good best ball guy.
Oh
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because like I said, I could see 10 weeks him not doing much, and then that one game that he has 3 touchdowns, 150 yards.
And it's super hard to rate him on, like,
it's true.
Really his yak because he's behind everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's just the fastest guy out there.
And there was a couple games, like you said, the Kentucky game. There was
blown coverages.
2 busted coverages. Yeah. He was wide open, But
Alabama just didn't respect the speed. Like, they just had no idea.
Yeah, and he torched him, man. That one route I loved. I did like that one route he did. It was like an out and up.
Yep.
And I thought that was nice. I mean, it really was nice. And he's that guy, man. If he can get behind you, just throw it up. He can go and get it. But I will say, tied for second in touchdowns last year, 15 in the nation. So you got to respect the speed. I mean, no matter what, I think that's intriguing. You hate to not take this guy, and then he just blows up, and then, I could have had him. But you hate to take him, and then it's like, it's just another one of them fast guys. It's a bust.
And where it's going to get weird at is like, I'm looking at some of these mock drafts, and like, Charbonnet ain't even in the first 3 rounds.
Right.
Some guys that we like I like Eric Gray, not even in the first 3 rounds, So if this dude gets drafted in the first round, are we really going to take a 4th round running back ahead of a first round receiver?
Right. You can't.
Like, I might just bet on the NFL to say, hey,
Gotta try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as you might not want to.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, that's going to do it for our first round of the wide receiver rookie film session. It's a lot of fun going over these guys. And next week we're going to be doing round 2.
Yep.
And then we'll see about the following week. We might take a little break from receivers. We might jump into quarterbacks maybe.
Yeah,
but
try to break it up a little bit. There's so many guys. Probably a lot of them aren't even worth a ton to talk about. But, hey, if we can hit the diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
That's what we all try to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to review a lot more of these guys. But next week will be wide receiver film session 2 for the rookies. Be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have JSN on that show. I'm pretty sure on that one.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. Keep your eyes out for. There'll be a couple other guys that'll be worth talking about. Then some lower guys. We'll see if we like or if we don't like them.
Yeah.
But a couple things to mention before we hop off. Again, the Bijan Robinson mini helmet sweepstakes. All you guys got to do, we're going to post it on Twitter, a picture of it, retweet, follow the Dynasty DNA page. If you do that, you're entered once. And then if you go from there and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, screenshot it over to us that you subscribed, or put it in the comments, say subscribe.
Yeah.
Then you're entered for 2 chances if you do both.
Yeah.
So you
More the merrier.
More the merrier. You got a great chance. Win this thing, and it'll kill Andy when he's got to box it up and ship it.
Oh, I know.
So he's already.
And let me tell you guys, Justice doesn't do anything on the camera
it's a beautiful.
when you actually look at it, it's like, damn,
It's
man,
really
that's
nice.
really cool.
It is. I'd love to have that in my collection. So I'm really hoping someone that really likes Bijan wins it.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun giving it away. And again, that will be given away at the first round of the NFL draft.
Yep.
We should be trying to do a live show for that. We'll keep you posted. But get in and join in, guys. You got a chance to win. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will.
And a couple other things to mention. Follow us on Twitter at DynastyDNA_. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon. I mean, we've been getting so many downloads and follows. I mean, the response has been great. You guys are awesome. I mean, just makes our day because we love talking to you about Dynasty football. We know you love it. We love it. The off season's here, so we got a long time to go before football is back. So this gives us a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, it does.
And also check us out on YouTube, our Dynasty DNA page on YouTube. Follow, like, subscribe over there. And, we'll be getting ready for the next episode of Dynasty DNA.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good one.